Hey everyone, welcome to Tag Talk with Beth and Maggie. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. Hi Maggie, how are you?
Hi.
My camera's already doing its little thing. Can you see me? I'm
Yeah,
blurry.
you're kind of coming to focus there.
It'll eventually figure it out. I don't think
It,
we have anybody here right now, so we're just gonna
just have to,
wait for the notifications to go out. And how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Good. That's great.
Back to my.
Before everyone, I guess before I get started, I just want to remind everybody that I am going to be on Life of Kimberly's channel on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central. I'll be on for an hour. Well, look who showed up. Hey, Bumcrack, how are you? How's it going? How are sales right now, Bumcrack?
How are you feeling?
Yeah, and how are you feeling? I haven't talked to you about that in a while. Great to see you here. You're our solo chatter right now. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, Bumcrack. You know what I didn't do? I didn't pop out the chat. So, Bumcrack, if you see any trolls, can you please zap them for me? Because I can't do that from StreamYard, which I don't understand why you can't do that, but I know it's its own separate thing.
So what do you have to do? Go into YouTube to do it?
You have to pop out the chat, and I forgot to do that beforehand.
Oh, I get you.
If I pull it up right now, then we'll hear ourselves echoing, and
yeah.
I don't really want to do that. So Maggie, while we're waiting for people to come in, I wanted to, because this is kind of going to go into our daily stoic thing. I've been listening to Julia Louis Dreyfus's podcast. I think she has stopped, but it's called Wiser Than Me, and she interviews women that are older than her and wiser than her. Like she did a great interview with Jane Fonda, a great one with Carol Burnett. But the other night, I was listening to the one with Dion von Furstenberg, and she's like in her 90s or something.
Yeah.
And Julia asked her, she said, "Do you mind if I ask you how old you are?" And Diane von Furstenberg replied, "That's not the question you asked me. You asked me, how long have you lived?" And then I tell you
I love
what
that.
I have done while I've been here, how I've lived my life. And that's really hit with me because she's cramming every single thing she can into her life, full of positivity, always looking on the good side of things, not getting angry at things. And so I just wanted to put that out to you so you can kind of describe what we're doing right now, what we're kind of studying.
Oh, so okay. So well, we Beth, let me go explain that you showed me, you sent me a message showing me a book called The Daily Stoic.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out that I have recently discovered The Daily Stoic myself. So when you showed it to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really familiar with this book because it's probably been about a year now for me that I've been reading this. And it's just a daily, so it's Stoicism, the philosophy of Stoicism. And it's Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor. And he wrote a book called, I want to say, just Meditations, just called Meditations. And his philosophy of Stoicism, which I always thought Stoicism was no emotionlessness. And it's not that at all. But it's about how not to get bogged down in things and how to live your life free of the encumbrance of emotions and to the extent that you're just free of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the way I feel is it's like for me, is to stop worrying about things that I cannot control.
Exactly.
And they also have, which I bought for my birthday for myself, the Daily Stoic Journal.
I didn't even know that existed.
And so it has a passage, it's one page that you read, I think it's on Sundays, and then every day there's a question. And it has something to do with what you've been hearing here.
Yeah.
Also, Ryan Holiday has a podcast, and every day he reads the passage from this book and then he expands on it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he had that the podcast. That because
Yeah.
today I saw I subscribed to him on YouTube, and today popped up a interview with a woman who was talking about the author Joan Didion. Have you ever heard of
I
her?
don't think so.
So is deceased now, but she was a famous author, and one of the books she was most famous for was called, I think it was called The Year of Miraculous Living, but it was a year in which her daughter was very, very ill, and during that time her husband dropped dead, basically, and that year of just unbelievable loss and grief, and
Mhm.
how it was for her a year of miraculous living, how she survived it. Talk about Diane Furstenberg and living and just being a strong woman. Um, that's what Ryan Holiday was talking about on this podcast that I saw today. Hey, Adam.
Yeah, and so what does this have to do with reselling? Well, it makes me think of last year. If I had been reading this daily, maybe I would have had a different way of looking at my sales, because last year I watched a video of myself early December, because I wanted to get my numbers. And when I watched myself, I was like, man, I look really bad. Like I look really distraught. And so if I would have had this book, maybe I wouldn't have gotten so upset. I encourage everyone to go give some love to the YouTube channel. I think it's called Andrea and Nick Hill.
Yes.
Give them some love, because if anybody needs that love right now, who is having things happen to them that are totally out of their control with regard to eBay, it's them.
Yeah,
And I thought Nick showed an amazing amount of restraint
I did too.
on the phone with eBay several times, and he's still got many calls to make, I'm sure, to get this all worked out. But anyway, we'll move on to Tag Talk, but
Yeah.
that's our preaching for the day. And so you don't have sales, Bum Crack. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you listing daily? Are you consistent? That's always my first question. So I'm great. Maggie, how are you?
I'm doing good.
He's
Yeah.
asking how we are. Hi,
Yeah.
Adam. How are you? We're saying hello. We used to watch them several years ago. Well, go see there. I was stressed out watching that video. I had to turn it off a couple of times because it was really
And
stressing
I
out.
hadn't watched them in a while, but I saw an article that e-commerce bites website, an article popped up about their situation and how
Oh, really? They have it on there?
yeah, how they had to
Oh,
fight to get there. So then I went back and I watched the last
that should get some
couple videos.
attention. That should get them some
Yeah,
attention.
yeah.
Nick and Andrea Hill's channel. Thank you so much, Bumcrack, for putting that there. All right, so we're going to move on to Tag Talk, and tonight Maggie and I are going to talk about, we've told y'all umpteen thousand things about how we thrift, what we don't thrift, how much we pay, what we look for, all that stuff. Tonight we're going to change it. We're going to go from our car when we got to bring the stuff home and our processes up to photography. We're not going to talk about photography tonight. That's going to be probably the next episode. And Maggie and I do it differently. I'm sure we do some things the same, but some things differently. And we wanted to do this because we wanted to let you see the differences, and maybe something that we do could be the littlest thing that we do that could just change your whole, wow, maybe I should try that to make my processing faster, or to make my processing better, or to keep from missing flaws or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, Maggie, I'm going to let you talk first. I'm going to make you big
Oh Lord.
and let you just go, and I'll ask you any questions if I have. If anybody else has any questions, Adam wants to say no boot sales or charity shops here.
Well, no, but yard sales will start soon, Adam. Actually, we were at I was driving home, and uh, we drove by a flea market in Vineland, and it was open. And the friend I was with was like, "Let's get out," and I was like, "No, it's cold." But they're going to start up soon. So,
Before you start, can you tell me what you're wearing?
oh, I can tell you what I'm wearing. So this top is it's parsley and sage is the name of it. I can't stand all the way up. You can't see me. Isn't it lovely? It was sent to me by my personal stylist, Beth Reseller Rowboat.
I just can't believe you got it that fast. It seems like I just shipped it.
It came really quick, but I love it. I mean, you know me. I love anything that's really colorful and it's stretchy. It's parsley.
Wait till you see the T-shirt I bought today to wear on my live stream.
Ooh,
Oh my goodness, you're gonna love it.
it's so much fun. Hey, Carl.
Very bright, Adam says. Hi,
Yeah.
Carl. Are you
Hi,
still
Carl.
being lazy? I know I ask you that every time. Okay, we're gonna let Maggie talk now. I'm gonna be quiet.
Especially in the winter, colorful things make me. I feel like I have that. What do they call it? Seasonal affective disorder. I get really down in the winter in the dark, so I like to wear bright colors. So I'm just going to tell you what I do then. So we go into the thrift store. I load everything up. Yesterday I went to a thrift store. It was a dollar tag sale at the Goodwill, and there was no carts. So when I got there at opening, there was a line all the way down, and I was like, I'm going to wait in line. Why? I'm just going to wait in my car, and then when everybody goes in, I'm going to go in. I saw that Adam some rain tomorrow, so I waited. And then when I went out, I realized why people wait in line because all the carts were gone.
Mm-hmm.
I found such great stuff. So this morning I woke up and I couldn't figure out why my arms. I feel like, you know how when you get a shot and your arm aches afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
Both my arms like ache. And I thought, what did I do? And then I realized because I was loading clothes over my arms and then shifting them from arm to arm.
And did you have to thrift the entire time like that, or did you finally end up getting a cart?
Finally ended up getting a cart.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had
after 1,000 things.
Yeah, after I was really loaded down with stuff. So anyway, that's neither here nor there.
It's hard to thrift that way too.
It is because you can't. And normally I'm like, so because I volunteer in a thrift shop. So normally if something falls off the hanger, I pick it up. If it's backwards, I turn it and I'm like straightening up as I go. And I couldn't do anything. Like stuff was dropping on the floor. Adam, don't say that. We're getting old. We're getting old. So we're not 20 anymore, Maggie. No, we are not. Anyway, go into the thrift shop. And then I pay for my stuff and I go out. And now, here in New Jersey, they're not allowed to give you bags in the stores anymore. So you have to remember your bags. And I never remember my bags. So then I end up having to plop all the clothes back into the cart and then go back to my car and then emptying it from like the cart into my car.
Oh, so they let you take the carts out.
They let you take the cart.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, out to the parking lot. Yours doesn't let you take your cart out?
They don't, but because they know me now, they allow me to because they know I will return it.
Oh, yeah. No,
if somebody doesn't know who I am, they'll yell at me and then I just say, hey, look at her. She knows me.
Well, what do they think you're going to do with it?
I'll leave it out in the parking lot and then the homeless people will take it.
Oh.
They won't get it back. They don't have anybody that goes out there and collects them.
Oh, I get it.
And most of our Goodwills have those big poles on them where you can't even get it through the door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So,
yeah, ours, you always can take it out to your car. And then there's usually big, you don't even have to take it back to the store. There's usually cart return areas throughout the
not where we are.
Anyway. So
you'll see when you come down here.
Yeah. So I dump the stuff into the car. And then the first thing I do is I take my receipt. So for purposes of like calculating my cost of goods and all of that, I enter everything into a program called Notion. It's an
Okay.
app called Notion. And so I just enter in everything off my receipt. I enter in the, let's see if I can show you here.
Now, is this an app that everyone can use, or is this the one that your son set up for you?
Well, he set it up for me, but it's an app that anyone can use.
Okay.
And you can set it up for yourself. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, but I'll enter in my inventory on my phone. I just enter in where I got it, the name of the place, how much I spent, how many items I got, and then it calculates like what my average cost of goods was for the oh, you have, what's CoMotion? Adam says I have CoMotion.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Is it a program, Adam? So that's the first thing I do. I make sure to enter that, because if I don't and receipts pile up, then that's a bookkeeping nightmare.
Like mine. I will show you. This is what I have right now. Now, this is no joke, and I got more.
You're not on camera, can you see?
Hold on.
Oh my
Lord!
Lord!
I have to scan all this into my computer. I'm that behind, and I've got more.
Oh,
in the other room and in my car.
See, I don't scan them in. I just enter the.
Yeah, I scan them in for my. They never ask me for them, but I always keep all my receipts, just in case I ever get audited.
I keep them, but I don't scan them. I just have big.
It was a joke. It was a joke. I kind of was wondering that. Disorder.
Oh.
It was a bad joke, Adam. That's okay.
I get you. So anyway, back to it. So then the big thing is remove the items from my car. And it's a big thing. Hi, Christy. Because Christy. I end up, if I don't do it, I can end up with literally a trunk full of stuff.
So you're opposite of me, because I don't want to take the things out of my car, because that's my station one, and they have to stay there until I'm ready to process them.
Oh.
So they may stay in there 5, 6 days, 7 days. They will stay in there until the ones I have right now are completely processed.
See, I don't like to leave them in there because
I know, I'm afraid they're going to get stolen too, but I don't think people can see back there.
Oh, no, I will keep this stuff in my trunk, but if I don't, then stuff that I buy early is buried on the bottom. You know what
well, and I have had inventory stolen out of my car at the car wash.
Wow.
And so they were 2 bags of shoes. They opened the bags and took them out, a bunch of them out. And so that keeps me from getting my car washed, unfortunately, on a regular basis.
That's crazy. No, I bring it in, and then I have shelving in my inventory area, and I put them on the shelf in the order.
Oh, how nice.
Them, so that when I'm ready, I can go back to the older ones first.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, and I'm not picking them.
Aren't you organized?
Yeah, a little.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then once I'm ready and then lately, of course, I've been doing actual thrift hauls with them, but otherwise I just go when I'm ready to list clothing. I'll go back to the shelf. I'll pull the earliest one, and then I'll ID tag. So I'll just pull everything in. So now that I've been doing these thrift hauls, it's like I bring the stuff in, and I've been doing the haul on the newest stuff and detag as I go. But then once I've done that, I still put them back in the bags and put them on the shelf.
Wow.
And then go back to the earlier stuff in order to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had a shelf like that.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I would keep listing the new stuff first.
Right.
And then later I would go back. And this is more clothing. It's not too much, although clothing does go out of style. But I was finding it with books where Oh, Ainsley just slings new inventory into the inventory trailer. Yeah.
Leslie, how are you?
That's the thing. And then Ainsley, all your new stuff is like, when do you ever get to, I would never get to the old stuff. So I would buy all these books, say, especially for FBA. And then I would never, and with FBA, especially the race to the bottom with pricing. And then I would end up going back to these old books and some of them will be worthless. So I have to keep on top of.
My heaven would be if I could just fold them on shelves according to sweaters, t-shirts, blah, blah, blah. But then reality is I sell sweaters all year round. So it really doesn't matter, but it would be nice to be able to see what I have and go, man, I think I'm going to list all my graphic t-shirts today or something, but I don't have that space. So
yeah. Well, once I go back for them, I'm going to do some clothing listings. So I'll pull the bags from a certain thrifting trip. And then I will, if they've not been detagged during a thrift haul, I'll detag them, but then I will sort them by category. And at that point, I'll look them all over again for any flaws. Because I hate it when I finally get to the point of hanging things up and then I see, like, I'm ready to take a picture and then I see a stain or a rip or something. So I really try to look them over really carefully. And then I make sure to button all the buttons up so that they're ready to hang up. I zip and unzip all the zippers.
I don't do that. If it's already zipped up, I'm assuming it zips, but I really should. With my arthritis, especially on jeans, I hate to do that with arthritis.
It's hard for you.
But my buttoner does have a zipper pull on one end of it. So maybe I need to use that more.
That is crazy, Adam. Adam says it was reading people are stealing.
Oh, yeah. Stealing from lockers and cars at my gym chain. Wow.
Yeah, Ansley, I do just thrift shops in the winter. Like I was saying to them, we passed by a yard sale the other day and my friend wanted to go to it. And I was like, and we did, but it was too cold for me. I can't. So yeah, I zip and unzip everything. Like I check all the pockets to see if there's anything interesting in the pockets.
Find a lot of stuff in there, like Kleenex and gum, and
I found little bits of money and
ever found any good money?
Not good money, no, a few dollars.
That's one thing I love in text group. People show when they found like $300 bills or something.
No, I've never.
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
that lucky.
I'll tell you what though, I found in my own pocket the other day. Oh, isn't it? Yes, it's my granddaughter and my grandson and my niece create masterpieces for me to hang up on my wall. So I was driving the other night and a few weeks ago, one of my tires I got a low tire warning on my car. And I thought, and I had to go find a Wawa that had a air thingy that was working.
What is Wawa?
Wawa it's a convenience store.
Because you were talking about a Wawa salad the other day.
Yeah,
they have salads at Wawa?
Oh yeah. Oh, they have great.
Is it like a Buc-ee's or something?
It's not like Buc-ee's, no.
Oh, okay.
Buc-ee's is amazing, but it's a convenience store, so
I think Barry may have taken me to one of those actually.
Maybe they make they make all kind of prepared food sandwiches and.
I thought Wawa was a restaurant when you said it. Okay.
No, it's a convenience store, and then they have gas pumps. So in order to avoid that again, I bought myself this little thing that allows me to allows me to pump up the tires myself. It's like a, portable pumper upper thingy. Anyway, so I'm driving the other night. It's cold, it's dark, and I get the low tire warning again. So I pull into the Wawa, but I'm going to use my own thing. And I could not get the little thing off the, I couldn't get the little thing off, that little rubber thing. What's that called?
Yeah.
The little rubber thing. I could not get it off. And I'm trying. I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to go into the Wawa and get myself something to drink. And I'm just going to try to get home on the tire and hope it doesn't go flat by the time I get home. So I go in to get my drink and I go to pull out see what's in my pocket, and I had a pair of my grandson's underpants in my pocket because we're doing. Well, he's really potty trained, but when we go out, I still take an extra pair of underwear. And darned if the elastic on that waistband wasn't the perfect thing to
Oh
help
my
me
gosh.
turn the rubber thing and get my tire.
So that's a good thing you had that in there.
Yeah, it was so funny. I don't know, talking about
A new use for underpants.
yeah, always prepared. It was funny. So anyway, yeah. So I just process through the clothes. I make sure everything works. I make sure if there's anything stained or ripped or something, I put it aside. I know, isn't that crazy?
Oh my God.
And then, yeah, sort everything out by clothing type, and then I'll start doing my drafts.
Before you photograph?
Yeah, yes. So,
Do you want to say anything about drafts?
What's that?
Do you want to say anything about how you draft?
Well, my process, yeah. Shall I talk about how I
Yeah,
do that?
because drafting and listing are two different things, really.
Right. So the first thing I do is, so we talked about creating those sheets. So you've talked about creating your sheets and how, and this has been a game changer for me because I'm like,
sheet right here.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you call it? I just have I have to do things methodically. So I can't go through a bunch of clothes and then I have to photograph. I have to do things in a certain order. And it was so slow. It was so slow for me to do that until you told me about your sheet. So
we're going to talk about the sheet in a minute.
Yeah. So I started.
And I would be glad to share the sheet with anybody. It's not share the shit. It's before anybody cracks a joke in the chat. It's share the sheet with anybody who wants it.
Yeah. So basically, Beth showed me the sheet that she uses to actually write out all the information about the clothing on a sheet of paper so that when she drafts, she can draft from her sheet instead of having the item of clothing here. Like, to me, it was so clumsy, like holding the clothing and looking for the information and everything. And at first I thought, well, that's duplicate work, though. You're looking at the clothing, you're writing up this sheet, then you're going and you're taking the sheet and you're writing it in. But it also allowed me to do it while I'm watching TV or, so I wasn't like chained to my desk.
Right. That's the whole point of it for me.
My son saw me using the sheet.
Right.
And he said, I have this program that I think will work really well for you. So he made a database for me in a program called Notion. And now I just pull up my iPad. Yeah, this is it. I just pull up the iPad and then I enter everything.
Make it bigger. There we go.
Yeah, let me see if I can. There you go. And I just enter all the information in there.
So that's my sheet, basically. It's just in digital form.
That's not a good example. Let me see if I can find one that has more filled in. Yeah, and I'll fill in I'll fill in where I got it. And then I can go and sort this. I would be able to go and see what did I buy there and what has sold and what hasn't sold, basically. Yeah, so I'll enter the information. This isn't really a good example because sometimes if
I'm sorry to interrupt you. That eBay title right there, Quacker Factory Women's Top 1X, do you copy and paste that into the draft?
I do.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, I don't write the title out when I'm doing my sheet, but that's awesome.
Yeah. This is not a good example because sometimes if I do it at my desk instead of ahead of time, then I will not fill in all the information. I'm going to see if I have something where all the information is actually filled in. No, I don't. Where the heck? I just have to go back a little further. But anyway, it's a great way for me to keep track of everything. Oh, come on, Maggie. I'll go down this way. So that's what I do. I'll pull the things out in the house, and yeah, these should be filled in more better.
That's awesome, Maggie.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work for me because I'm on the couch and my wife is in there, and
Yeah.
uh, but
Yeah.
this is why we're showing different ways of doing this because this could be very useful to someone.
Yeah. For me, it's a great.
Later on, this may be something I will switch to, but for right now, with our situation, with time, I want to spend as much time in there with her as I can, and I just cannot have anything. Um, that's awesome. Do you want me? Let me know when you want me to take it down. It's not
Yeah.
a
I
problem.
wanted to see if I could show you. Hmm. Oh, let me. So this is how I do the inventory. The inventory that I enter into in my car, this is where it goes. So
Oh, okay.
it'll show
Place
you what
you went, how much you spent,
how much I spent.
average cost of goods.
And then when I'm listing, I can associate. So this shows me the things that I bought here in particular and what sold.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
A little bit too detailed for what I'm doing right now, but I can see where that would be extremely, extremely
And
useful.
it doesn't have to be that detailed. This
Right,
program, you set up, basically you set up your database any way you want.
right. That is amazing.
Yeah. So you can take that off. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. You talk about it, but I've never seen it in action. That's really cool. And I like it. You can do it on your phone and your iPad and your computer, all of them.
Yeah. I can pull it up from anywhere.
Hmm.
And yeah. And so once that's done, then once I'm ready to list, that's on my computer screen. I'll pull up the piece of clothing, and then that's when I'll take my photographs.
Hmm.
And I do still take my photographs one at a time. Like I can't take photographs and photographs, and I have to take the photograph, go to the database, do the listing, and then move on to the next
Oh,
one.
you do them one at a time.
I have
Wow. I
to.
do like up to 400
I
at a
know,
time.
I know most people do, and I know it would be time efficient, but I've tried to do it that way, and I just can't do it. All those pictures in my camera and then on my computer drive me crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
weird.
get that.
I'm weird. I'm quite weird. Yeah. So how about you?
Well, before I start, I wanted to shout out Jen at the Pudgy Picker. If you're not following the Pudgy Picker, go over there and subscribe. She has an antique booth. She has an eBay store. She's awesome. She's funny. She will keep you entertained. So, hi, Jen, if you're watching. So, my items are in my trunk, like I said, and they are in the thrift store bag, but then they are also inside IKEA bags because when I first started thrifting there, I would get out to the car and the bags would bust, and I ended up with clothes in the mud. And on my mud, it was horrible trying to pick up clothes. And so ever since then, and they always ask me, then even though they know, they say, "Oh, do you just want to put them in the IKEA bag?" I said, "No, I want them in your bag, and then I'll put them in the IKEA bag. Plus, it's easier to carry, right, in the IKEA bags than it is to these big tied bags that are. They at least put 20 to 25 items in every bag, and they're just bulging. I go out to my. This is the way I do it because I have dogs. We have mosquito hawks right now. Um, I go out and I empty everything from my trunk onto my porch, and then I lock my car so I'm not going back and forth with my keys. And then I transfer everything quickly from my porch inside, and usually they go into the dining room. Now this is always done on the night when I take tags off. I made a promise to my wife when we bought this house that I would not have any inventory on the living areas of this home. And for the most part, and packing materials. And for the most part, I have, stood by my word. So they only stay there for about an hour, hour and a half in the dining room, which is attached to our living room. And I sit on the couch while watching TV with her, and I take all the tags off of all 100 items. It takes me about an hour to an hour and a half. And I take all the tags off. I button all the buttons with my buttoner. and I do scissor work. Like, there might be a string hanging, and I got a pair of scissors there. I do all the scissor work. I do all the snag nabbit work. If any of you do not have one of these, this little snag nabbit, I gave them away on my channel a couple months ago. They are awesome for getting snags out of sweaters, especially large snags. I like large snags because it's easier to pull these through if the snags are large. I do all that at that time. Um, I use binder clips to note anything unusual that I think is weird about the item, just anything unusual. If it has a stain, I'll put the clip on the stain and I put it to the side
Oh, that's a good
because,
idea, because if sometimes I'll see a stain and I'll put things aside, and then when I'm ready to like treat them, I can't
yeah.
find
And
it.
I put these on every single stain because you might think, oh, it's got 3 stains. I'm just gonna put a clip. Well, when you go to do the spot remover, you forget that you've got 3 stains, not just one. So I put one on each stain, and that way when I'm washing, I take the clip off, do the stain, take the clip off, do the stain, take the clip off, do the stain. And so things like that, just
That is
things that are
great.
unusual, I always put a binder clip. Now that's if I'm not low on drafts. That would be like if I had stuff in here to do. But if I'm low on drafts, I don't have any clothes, which is very rare. I will just do 2 bags. I will detag 2 bags, button 2 bags, snag nabbit 2 bag, And usually, if that happens, I leave the rest in the car. Um, I don't have a place in this house to put inventory that's not listed or not being processed. I just
But
don't.
then you list it before you go back. Like you don't ever go back when there's still stuff in the trunk, right? Like it's all out of the trunk before you go back to the store.
Yeah, very rarely. There have been times that I have gotten myself into that spot where I had to put stuff in the back seat because I still had stuff from the week before. But that's very, very rare. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if I get 100 for 3 weeks in a row, that might happen. Except for that's why I've been doing the reseller boxes because that gets me to move some other stuff that I don't have to list. So, but that has happened a few times. And then in that case, I will start from the back seat first because people can see the clothes in the back seat. And even
Right.
though I bought them last, I start with them first because I don't want people to know there's bags in there. We have security cameras and everything, but you just never know.
No, you don't ever know.
So, like I said, if I'm low on drafts, I'll just do 2 bags at a time. Um, then the next time, probably the next night, I print off about 40 of these sheets. There's 2 on a page, and I don't know if y'all can see that, but that close. But anyway, we've talked about this sheet before. And basically what this is your item specifics. I was going to put them in order of item specifics as they were on the page on eBay, but they kept moving the item specifics around and it was driving me crazy. So I just left it the way I had it. If anybody wants one of these, I can send it to you in Word format. The person who sent me this, it was totally different. I totally changed it and I'm still changing it. There are still times I will say, I'm tired of writing pilling. I need to have a place for just pilling, but I haven't done it yet, but I will. And I've added countries because I do country and manufacturer, just different things I've added, and some things I've taken away because I'm like I never checked that box. I might as well just take it away.
No, I never fill in the country of unless it's made in the USA. I never put the country in.
I fill in every single item specific I can.
I feel like I should.
Oh, look who's there. There's Devin. Devin, I almost have a reseller box ready for March. I was thinking of you. Thank you for putting Pudgy Picker's link in there, Bum Crack. And I don't know if you saw, Ainsley said you're very techie.
Oh, yeah.
Beth, that's one heck of a commitment. I don't know what that was referring to. To probably not bring the inventory into the living areas of the house. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, anyway. All right. Next one. So, I print out the sheet. And then I take them in there and I cut them in half, and I got a clipboard. I use a clipboard because the clipboard is just, it's like my lifeline. You can tell my wife I'm always going, have you seen my clipboard? Have you seen my clipboard? Have you seen, because that's where I keep everything. That's where I keep all my podcast notes and all that stuff. And so I sit over there and I just start writing. And I try to do 30 a night, but I don't always get 30 a night. Right now we're watching Blue Bloods. And if we get into an episode that I'm really into, I look up a lot. I got to follow the story. I don't get as many done, but
Right.
I'm finding I get about 25 to 30 done every night. I stop at 9 o'clock because 9 o'clock is when I do my shipping. So whatever I can get done from like 7 to 9, that's what I do. Um, I fill out everything that I possibly can on this sheet. And I should be able to, and I'm really bad about skipping things, like not, I skip the fabric, or sometimes I even skip the freaking size. And I'm like, how did I do that? So I used to have a thing. Oh, I have a little space here that says reviewed to remind me to review it all. I never check that space. I never review it. All right. All right. Then, also what I do, another binder clip. I put binder clips on material tags that are funky. I don't know if you've ever been looking for them and you're trying to find a material tag, and it's supposed to be on the inside, bottom right, pretty
Right.
much, but it's not always. If it's a dress, it could be way up the dress, right? And I can't find it. I'm like, if I can't find it now, I'm not going to be able to find it when I take the picture.
Right.
I'm going to be spending time again, a second time, looking for the freaking material tag. So what I do is I put the binder clip on the material tag after I finally find it. And then when I'm photographing, if I can't find the material tag, I'm like, okay. And I just put my hands over the dress or whatever, and I can feel this bump. I'm like, there it is. And I pull it out and take a picture of it.
That's
So
very clever.
pro tip, I don't know, but you know, inventory not in living areas. Yeah, I made that. Her other house, oh my gosh, has stuff everywhere at her other house. Okay, so
She's such a patient soul.
I,
Your wife.
she is. Also, I put binder clips on items that, I'm getting my binder clip out again. I put binder clips on items that I'm unsure of the color.
Ah.
And it's very, very dark in our living room, extremely dark. Sometimes I have to use the flashlight on my phone to look and try to see if it's blue or black or orange or pink. Or sometimes I'll hold it up to Jenny and go, what color does this look like? And she'll like, well, it looks pink to me, but it's dark in here.
Right.
And so it just kind of reminds me that when I take my color wheel photo, especially gray, especially like black and blue, that I have to really be careful when I take my color wheel photo. For instance, today I had a lady, she wanted to buy a pair of pants, but she's like, are these black or are they dark gray? Like the pictures just, I can't really tell, even though I had black in the title. And I said, go to the last photo, to the color wheel photo, and you will be able to see. And I had the black and gray color wheel on it, and she bought it. I
Ah.
never said it's black. I never said it's dark gray. I just said, go look to that photo, and she bought them.
Ah.
So that's another thing I do. Okay, here's another pro tip. As I've been doing my inventory, somebody told me, and you probably know this, people don't really search clothing by multicolor.
Right.
So if I had a pink and blue and yellow paisley top, I was putting multicolor
Me
in the item
too.
specifics. And nobody searches that way. I want a multicolor.
Right.
They want something that goes with a blue skirt or something that goes with a red pair of pants. So they're gonna type in a color, right? So what I do is on this sheet, I look at the item and I'm go, which color really stands out? So whichever one is, I triple circle it, red. And then the second primary color, I just put one circle around it. And the reason I do this is the 3 circled one is what I'm going to put on eBay. Okay.
Right.
But the 2 is what I'm going to put on Poshmark.
Right.
Because you have 2 choices on Poshmark for color.
Right.
but you only have one on eBay. So learning these kind of things, after you do it a while, you start getting shortcuts that help you, right? Eventually.
Yeah, I've recently changed over, not doing multicolor.
Yeah.
Forget where I read it or heard it or whatever.
On text group, I'm sure.
Oh, probably.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I a lot of mine still say multicolor, but as I'm inventorying them,
Right.
well, right now I'm doing the colored ones, red, blue, purple. But when I go back to floral, I know I'm going to find a bunch of them like that. And I'm going to have to try to remember to
Yeah.
change them, right? Let's just see.
Yeah.
Hey, Rita, sorry you're here. Why are you sorry you're here?
We're not sorry you're here.
I know what you mean, Rita. Okay.
Better late than never.
Now, if an item feels heavy to me, I'm terrible with spatial things and weight. But if an item feels really heavy to me, I will check priority, which it's not priority for me anymore. That just means it's over a pound. And if I know it's lightweight, I'll check first class, and that no longer applies. But and then if I'm not sure, which is a lot, I'm like, oh, this feels kind of heavy, but I'm not sure. I put a question mark under priority so that when I'm drafting, I default it to the 2 pounds. I'd rather be over than under. And then when I'm actually listing, which we'll talk about another time, that's when I actually weigh it, and then
Right.
I'll put what the weight in. I do not put. This is when I take my measurements. Right, I got all my measurements here: hips, chest, waist, sleeve, rise, inseam, length, hem, and so I no longer put 0.5 in my measurements. 3 years ago, if the bust was 20.5, I put 20.5. I
Right.
don't know why. And now I put 20 because I'd rather somebody get something that is a little bit looser.
Right.
They're
Yeah, for
expecting
sure.
something smaller, and they're like, wow, I've lost a little bit of weight, than getting something that's even an inch too
Tight.
small.
Yeah.
They're either going to return it. And I'm happy to say I have 60-day free returns in mostly clothing, and I haven't had, knock on wood, I have not had a return in almost 3 weeks.
Oh, it's awesome.
So I I kind of attribute that to taking that 0.5 out. I may be wrong, but because most of my returns were for doesn't fit, but
Yeah,
they
most
didn't
of mine
tell
are
me
for
that. I've
too.
never had anybody say this is too big, right?
Right.
Have you?
No.
Yeah. So I
No.
take the 0.5 out now. So just everybody, uh, mom's having a bad day. I am so sorry,
Oh,
Rita.
sorry, Rita.
All right. I at the top of each sheet I put a tag number. Whoa. And you get them on Amazon. They're not very, I think they're like $13 for 100. I have 200 of them because there has been a time when I have actually had 200 pieces of clothing labeled. Back when I was really going, I had to get a second box. I had to go from 100 to 200 because I'm like, I'm going to run out.
So
So
this is clothing you have processed but not yet drafted.
yeah, well, I put after I fill out the sheet, I put 143 up here, and then I clip this to the piece of clothing,
That's a
and
good
it goes
idea.
in the pile. And that pile, I try that night to go and hang it up because that means it's for the next process, the next station, which is to be, steamed and all that and photographed. But this number is so that when I go through like I said, I sometimes photograph
Yeah.
400 photos. All I have to look for is this number, and my pictures are in order of because when you take a picture and you put it in your basket, well, it's going to be backwards, so they're going to be really in order in the photos. But I don't have to look. I just see this number. Oh, those 7 photos, they go in. So that's what this is for. And anyway, and then you're gonna laugh at this. Okay, so this next part is y'all are gonna laugh at me.
I promise I won't laugh. No.
I do a lot of my work from my bed. A lot. every night I go to bed early. She stays up and watches TV till God all times of the night. I take my laptop, I take all my sheets with my clipboard. I go put a podcast on or a movie or Downton Abbey, whatever. The only thing I don't like about my bed is I don't have two screens. I would love to have a way of having two screens in my bed. And I draft from the sheet all 30 items. As I mean, some nights I don't make it. Sometimes I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And that's when I do my drafting is from bed. I don't know if y'all saw my Instagram post. I drafted a vacuum cleaner from my bed a month ago. The vacuum
Hmm.
cleaner that I've made $112 on so far. I have a picture of the box, and I was in bed drafting those pieces. I happen to have that situation to where I can do that because we don't have a TV back there. So I mean, I don't want to, I love my bed. It's inclines, has a vibration. I'm
Oh,
on my
well,
covers. I got my, heated blanket. If it's cold, I got my fan. If it's hot, I mean, I got my drink. I'm good. That's right. And it's like sitting up, really. It's just
so
my
you
dog
use
can
a
lay in my lap
you use a laptop?
and my laptop right here, the same one.
Do
Yeah.
you do you put it like
And
do you have like a lap desk or
no, I incline my feet and I just put my knees up. And I do have one of those, and I could use one of those. Um, the one thing that happens a lot, and she'll yell from the other room, "You dropped your mouse, didn't you?" Because I'll move my hand and my mouse will go flying off the bed and hit the wall. And one night I got out and I found the mouse next to the bed, but I couldn't find the cover.
oh.
And I had to get up and turn all the lights on. And when I went up to turn the lights on, I looked over, and on the other side of the room was that cover. How it got over there, I don't know. And she's like, "You dropped your mouse, didn't you?" Because she can hear it, and she can hear me cussing because I'm always cussing when I drop my mouse. So when I draft, um, I also comp. And
Oh,
I'm right now at this point comping almost everything because the prices are changing. I don't know if you guys know this with clothing, the comps are going down. And I used to just comp amazing items that I got, something different I never seen before. But now I'm comping almost everything, unless it's just something I buy over and over and over again. And I know what I want. I know
Crystal?
it takes time, but what?
I said hi to Crystal.
Oh, Crystal's here. And then what I do is, did you say Crystal or Christy?
Crystal.
I
Christy
don't
is
see
here
her.
too. Yep.
I don't see her. Hold on, maybe she's down here. There she is. Hey. Okay, so then the last thing well, not the last thing, but I fill this sheet out and then I do the comps and I write down here what my price is going to be. But I put it in the draft. But the reason I put it here is so that when I'm cross listing to Poshmark, I just
Yeah.
look there. I don't have to look on my eBay screen. I can look on my thing and tells you. Let me see if I got anything else. So I price $10 over the average sales price sold is my usual thing. And then if it's something extra special, sometimes I'll bump it up. Or if it's less special, I might bump it down.
Right.
Or if it's got a flaw, I might bump it down. So all the copying is done during drafts. And then when I actually put the photos into the drafts, I will sometimes change the price. I'll pick it up and I'm like, because I don't have the item in front of me, right? So
Right.
when I actually have the item in my hand, I'm like, this is really special fabric. Like this is really awesome. I'm gonna bump the price, even though I put $27.99. I'm gonna bump it up to $32.99. So I do sometimes change the prices when I have the item in my hand.
Right.
And then the next morning, what I do is I take my sheets and I file them alphabetically in my file because I got tired of flipping through. And sometimes I'll have as many as 60 sheets to file because if I work, one day and I don't get any done, I may get behind. And like on the nights when I work on my podcast, I don't draft, so that I might have 30 sheets to do, but I got to do my podcast stuff. So I just put them in here, and when I'm ready to,
Alphabetically according to to the
to the
brand.
brand. Yeah. So and all I have, so like
Oh, that's super
let's say
organized.
it's Aeropostale. No, that's not a good question. It's not. Let's say it's Bandolino, which is not a good one. I just, all I have to do is get the B's. I go B153 and I just grab all the B's 153. Boom. I don't have to look at it. I just look at the number B153. Catherine's is C66. I just pull it out. I don't have to look at what's on the sheet because I know it's the item that's in my hand that I just photographed. So
Wow.
that's how I do it. And it's worked very well for me. And if we have any questions,
That's why you're able to process so many.
Beth, if we were all as organized as you, we would all do that. Well, I think you can be organized, but I understand people who are not naturally organized have trouble. I'm just trying to offer things. Some people might benefit from it. Too bad you don't have a cat. Could blame it on the mouse disappearing. Well, I'll tell you what. When I'm in there in the living room, um, the dogs they want to be near me, and it's sometimes it can be extremely difficult, and it's very difficult for me because I sit on the. If you're looking at the couch, I'm on the left. We have recliners on our couch. If you're looking at the couch, I'm on the left. So that's because my right hand, right mouse, and I can't do my mouse on the armrest. It falls off. It won't go flat because the armrest is like this,
That's why I
and so
use,
it's very difficult for me to do computer work on the couch.
I
And
use
I
a
have one of those
trackball.
desk thingies, but there's no room for the mouse because this is a rather large laptop, and it takes up the little desk thingy. So then I
Did you
got to put.
ever did you ever think of using a trackball?
No, I don't do well with trackballs.
No, I love my
No,
trackball.
and I can't even use the one on the pad. Mm-mm.
It's just
On
I
the
mean,
computer, I go so slow.
just use your thumb. That's so weird. A
I
lot of
use
people
I
can't.
use this one.
A lot of people don't like them. But then you have to. That drives me crazy. You have to move that all over, like you said. And if
Mhm.
you only have a limited
Well,
space,
maybe I should invest in a trackball and see how I like it. Maybe.
well, if you've tried it before,
Okay. Well, I mean, I not for this, not for this.
it's.
So
I think it takes some getting used to, but then you don't have to worry about that. You just sit in one spot and you just, I use my finger on this one, but the one on my laptop I
I
use.
don't know if that. Let me see the bottom of it because I don't know if. See, I'm afraid it would because
Oh
the
wait,
couch arm is like this, and so it's a round, and I don't think that would stand on there. It would just fall off. That's my problem. It just falls. You put it on the armrest, and it goes whoop,
I
falls right
see.
out, or it falls towards me. Um, my one thing I don't like is taking the staples out, the tags. I bring a trash can in there by the couch, and I hold it over the trash can with the staple pull. But my wife and I both have gotten staples in our feet,
Yeah.
and the dogs have gotten staples in their feet. And we look around and we think we have no staples. I mean, I don't know how they get out. I mean, like I said, I'm literally over the freaking trash can, but
Yeah.
inevitably the next day we'll find a staple, and I hate that. I feel so bad when that happens. But I want to be in there,
Right.
so it's the only way I can do it. Really. I get tired of sitting in this chair, and this is an ergonomic chair, but even when I sit in this chair all day, it's bad. I just want to go out
Yeah.
of this room, you
I
know.
mean, I'm lucky. This desk lifts up, so I'll work standing a lot of the day too.
You know. Has anybody made a sale during the show?
I haven't.
No. I don't know if I have because I left my phone in the other room, so I
Oh,
don't know. I've already done my shipping for today, which because I wanted to just go straight to bed. I've had a long day, and I don't have anything to draft, and I don't think I have anything to do for my podcast. So I may actually get to relax tonight. And then,
that would be lovely.
this is why I stay up so late, and it's really not good for me. There are nights that I take breaks, and I just tell her I'm not doing anything tonight. If I have stuff up there to photograph, and I have Sometimes I have 3 or 4 tubs that have already had these sheets filled out. You know,
Yeah.
if I get that far ahead, I'll take a night or two off, not in a row, but I just say tonight is just nothing.
I just
You
can't
know,
seem to work at night like I used to. I've been getting up at 5:30 a.m. Like I've been
mm.
getting up really, really early and being at my desk by 6 a.m. And I find I can get so much done between say 6 and 8 a.m.
See, I'm a night owl. I'd rather work at night. I do better at night. That's
Yeah,
just
me
my
too.
happy spot.
Oh yeah,
Because
I
I
mean,
can listen to anything I want. She and I have no interest in the same shows.
right,
She doesn't watch YouTube. Um, we really struggle with that. Like she's really into baseball. I could take it or leave it. And so that's the time when I get to watch and listen to things that she really doesn't want to hear, you
right.
know? And so it's just how it works for us. I'm curious, is there something that you guys in the chat do differently that maybe Maggie and I might want to try? I mean, clothing is its own, um, you know, what's the word? It's just its own, it's different, you
So
know?
yeah,
And when you're doing this much clothing, it's different if you're an everything seller and you just have a little bit of clothing and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. But when you're bringing home a lot of clothes, like Maggie and I are, um, if you don't have a process,
process.
you can get burnout really, really quick. And I'm approaching burnout right now, but it's not because of my process. It's just because I've got a whole lot of other things going on in my day that are taking me away from my work,
Right.
and I'm overwhelmed. Another animal. That was what I
Another
was
animal.
trying to
Yeah,
think. I was trying to
exactly.
think. It's another animal, and I don't know.
I don't know. I feel
It's a
like
lot
you're.
of extra work, but I put everything in a clear poly mailer with a SKU sticker on it. Piece. I'm getting close to 2,000 pieces, so it helps me stay organized. That is awesome.
Once
We
they're
are going to talk about photographing next time, and then the time after that, we're going to talk about listing and selling and all that. It's probably gonna be like a 3-part series, I would think. Um, and yes, I do that too. All my items have their
I store mine in
all
bags
of my
too.
whoops, excuse
Well,
me. All of my items have the SKU number and the title from the eBay title in
this is
there.
how mine are stored like this in the bag.
Let me see. I don't see your SKU number.
It's on the here. I just
Like,
put
let
it
me
right.
make you big. Hold on a second.
It's me. It's knowing where to put the things.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have the warning bags.
Well, I don't think these require Amazon. I have the warning stickers because Amazon requires if you
Right.
send anything in a plastic bag. eBay doesn't require it, but I have so many of these. I accidentally ordered like 10 rolls of them instead of one day, so I just use them. But that's how I store it. Everything gets stored like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah, it's super detailed. But all it takes, Devin, is just copying that title and then putting it on my sticker. And then I don't have to hit copy again. I go over to Poshmark, copy the title into Poshmark. So I've only copied it one time, but it's going 3 different places. Um,
Yeah,
so
we have to talk cross listing down the road.
yeah, I cross list manually.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how you do that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that, but it's just you got to have a process. I mean, but before when I lived, this is like 4 houses ago, when I first started, I just had everything in tubs with no bags.
I did too.
Like they were in tub A and they
Yeah.
were just all in there. They weren't folded or anything. Well, they started out folded. And then I'm just like going, okay, I sold this polo shirt. It's in A. Great. Well, which one is it?
Right.
Then you got to go through and find it. And I don't know how people survive that. I think once you start hitting 100, 200 items, you start getting yourself in a little bit of a pickle, by not separating them some way individually. But maybe I'm wrong. It wouldn't work for me.
No,
Because I've tried it.
I did that at first too, and it was a nightmare trying to
Yeah.
find things. Yeah, after.
And I, truthfully, Maggie, I don't know how you do it one at a time, but I guess your setup is different because
Well,
if
and
how do you get it in? Well, you know what? We'll talk about that on the next one. I'm just saying, I don't think I could do one at a time on the photographs, but maybe we should talk about that next time. How you get it into your phone, from your phone to your, and I
yeah,
think I know the
yeah.
answer to that.
I want to see what
Um,
there's.
because the way you do it, I think it goes straight into your app, doesn't it? When you take your pictures, don't you put it straight into the app?
I do.
Yeah,
Oh
see,
no,
so
I
that
don't. I
that
don't.
makes sense.
No, I don't put it straight into the app, but I
Mhm.
airdrop it
Yeah.
right into the listing.
I do everything in batches. I take the tags off, separate into piles of repair, wash, ready to list. Then I separate the list pile by mannequin, men's, women's,
Ah,
flat lay, a photo, everything, then list. That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk about photographing this time. So, I mean, next time. So, I have some similar processes on my getting ready to photograph. While listing, I put my SKU, do measurements, and bag in every piece. So
yeah.
I thought, really, I mean, Megan went to use this for years. She was telling me to use this, and I was like, that's extra work. That's extra work. But reality is, when I wanted to be with my family, I couldn't be. And so this keeps me, I can take this anywhere. I can go to Austin to visit my kids. I can take all my sheets with me. I can do it there. I don't have to take the clothing with me. And I don't have to do all the up and down, up and down, up and down, what size,
Right,
what color, what,
right.
and put it in the computer and up and down and up. And it's all right there on the couch. I'm just doing it really fast. And then I just go straight. It's just data entry is all it is, from bed. So I stopped using bins, and now I use these heavy duty moving bags. They're colored and come in a set of 6. How interesting. I haven't heard of that.
No, so your poly mail, your poly bag items go in these big
Moving bags.
moving bags. That's
Now, I
just
remember Nicole State years ago used to use IKEA bags for that. Remember? Do you remember that? She used to have the IKEA bags on the shelf sideways,
yeah.
and she put in each IKEA bag was labeled, and that was her. She put them in there. But still, um, to
Mine are
me, that's just, even if they're in, I don't even remember if she put them in bags then, but they instead of boxes or bins, they were IKEA bags. That's how she did it.
mine are just on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. Bayline, cheaper than bins. Huh, interesting.
Huh.
Thank you, Devin, for that tip.
6-pack over
Somebody might want something like that.
huh.
And also, instead of an IKEA bag, I don't know, I get so many people asking me where I got my IKEA bags, and I'm like, from IKEA? Well, I get them on Amazon, but I mean, it says IKEA on the bag. So I'm like, they go, where do you get those bags? I'm like, IKEA? It says IKEA all over it, but oh well, whatever. Hmm.
Oh
That's the
wow.
Amazon description. I like it because I have a bunch of different colors, so it helps me spot easily. Oh, that's awesome.
These look really good. That's
I use those moving bags for my working inventory. My listing inventory is in bins because I store it all in the garage. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They're awesome. That's awesome, actually. And then you just put those moving bags onto the shelves like that.
That's awesome.
It is. That's a great idea.
Yeah. If I didn't have 1,000 boxes in my garage, I might try that. But
I don't have
the
any.
boxes are working out okay. I mean, I can't get that many in there, but I'd rather go through 10 items than go through 25. And I think part of it also is if you know your inventory really well. Like when I see a sale come in during the day, I see that top up there that's sold. I already know what the pattern is. I already know what the color is. So when I go to pull it out of the box, I already know I'm looking for a purple tank top, like I almost always grab it almost immediately. It literally takes me just a split second normally, unless it's fallen behind something or something. But so really knowing you're in, oh, they have clear ones too.
I'll have to look into that because mine are just laid out on the shelves, and so which is great. If I need to pick, I just go to that number and pull it. But as things sell, I have to continually shift the inventory
Oh, okay.
and shift and yeah, I have to
I
continue.
replaced the inventory. Yeah. Maybe that's another show, is to talk about how we store our
Inventory.
items. I could even, I don't know, you're not on a laptop, are you?
I do have a laptop.
Oh,
I'm not
I was
now.
gonna say, because I was even thinking about doing that on the photography one. I'm on a laptop and it folds where it could be like an iPad. I could even go around during the
Yeah,
live and show. I could go out to my inventory room if we ever wanted to do a show on that and
yeah,
show exactly. We could show how we do it.
yeah.
If you have a way of getting on StreamYard with some way of walking around. Kimberly Sims, if you're watching later, I would love to do a show with you showing us your system. I would love that. Um, she fits 30 to 45 in each one. Wow.
These are
I didn't
the
think it would hold that many. I use the clear ones for plush, easier to find the small plushies. Now, that's a great tip.
oh, these clear ones look great.
That's a great.
Bags.
Or take up so much room. I had them in tubs when I did them, and I almost thought about going back to plushes, Maggie, but it takes up too much room.
Takes up a lot of room. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the clear are nice to spot items quickly. Yeah, that's another great reason. You have anything else you want to add, Maggie, before we leave?
Oh, I don't think so. I think
Okay. Again, don't forget that I will be on Kimmy's channel, Life of Kimberly, on Thursday night at 7 p.m. And then I will be on Adam's Exploits channel on March 13th. I'm going to try to have a hangout this week. It will be either Wednesday or Thursday, and I will just be working, probably listing the appliances that I bought on Saturday. I would love for someone to be able to come on screen with me so they can kind of just help me keep the conversation going, help me read the chat. Otherwise, it's usually a very short show because it's boring to just watch me list. Okay, I know that. And I want people to have something to listen to, some kind of conversation. So please contact me if you're interested, and I'll let you know when I'm planning to go on. And Maggie, again, thank you so much for joining me. This was very informational. I learned a
fun.
lot from you tonight.
Yeah,
So,
it's fun. I learned a lot as well.
all
And
right.
you
Well,
learned a lot from the chat. So there you go.
everyone keep paddling. We're all in this business boat together. Good
All right,
night.
everyone. Thanks, Bum Crack.